Good stuff.
What about yourself?
Life is good. Things have been good, man. Just, trying to get where I want to be, you
Right,
know, trying to take over the city,
right,
one section at a time. That's about
right.
it.
I feel you on that. You still in Greensboro?
Oh nah,
Okay,
I'm in DC.
okay,
I
all right,
left I left North Carolina shortly after I graduated college.
okay.
Yeah, and I hadn't been back. Yeah, I've been gone from North Carolina for about a little over 20 years.
Wow, see, I ain't know that, man. And see, that's why I'm making my rounds, man, because people that are still active on social media and stuff that are still doing things, man, from Greensboro crew and et cetera, man. I'm trying to, I don't know, man. I'm just following God, man. So I'm just reaching out to people, man, and like, look, man, let's connect, let's talk, whatever the case may be, man. How can we help one another, whatever space we in, man, and just see where it goes. And I did not know that. So have you been back within them 20 years or no?
I mean, yeah, I've been back to visit. I go back on a semi-regular basis to
Okay.
visit. My mom is still there, still have
Yeah.
family there.
Okay.
So yeah, I go back every now and then. But yeah, just haven't lived there in a minute.
Yeah. Look, man, I ain't been back. We went back when my daughter was about 2 or 3, and she'd be 16 this year. So it's been over 10 years for me too, man. I keep
Oh
saying
wow.
I want to get back just to see the city, man, because I've heard it's growing tremendously. Just to see some old people, whatever the case may be, man. But just ain't found the time to get back like I want to, man. I don't know if you remember Cedric Parker. Remember
Nice.
Cedric Parker? He
That
was at
that
the
name sounds
He
familiar.
was at the school with us too, man, back in the day. But I still stay in contact with him a little bit. Uh, and
Okay.
every now I see Troxler and them on Facebook, so I'll reach out to them guys every now and then, but not as much as I used to, man. But so
Right,
yeah,
right.
man. So what you got going on in DC though? Why DC?
Well, I love the city, man. I've loved DC for a while. So my dad's family, I have a lot of family on this side that's been in DC. So
Okay,
even growing up, like I spent a couple of summers in DC. I would come up here for family reunions, so I was kind of familiar with the area.
okay,
So after a while, I've been here for 10 years now,
wow,
almost 11 years.
okay.
Um, but
Yeah, I might have been a D. Well, I didn't know might. I know for a fact. My dad's side of the family's from DC too, and my mom got some family in the Maryland area. So I know I've probably been to DC a few times, way more than I've been to North Carolina. I know that for a fact. We was actually in DC. My aunt, she passed about 2 years ago. So we was
okay,
up in DC for that. And then me and my wife, we came up. I got a homeboy of mine. Matter of fact, we was up there 2 years ago during that same time, the same year rather. He had a baby blessing. And
okay.
he works for the federal government out there. So we was out there, man. So yeah, next time I come out there, man, we're gonna definitely have to figure out a way to break some bread if time allows.
Yeah, definitely, definitely check me out, man.
Right.
You're in Alabama, right?
Yeah, I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. So I don't know
Huntsville,
if you
okay.
ever heard or been down here, man. But I'm in
Yeah.
Huntsville, Alabama, man, and the city is growing. We've been down here, or I've been down here since about 2000. So 26 years. Had a year in the middle there where we stayed in Texas for a year, but then we transitioned back to Huntsville.
Okay.
Well, Huntsville has grown a lot, man, and it's continued to grow. And I just been telling people like, look. I don't know what you got going on, et cetera, man. But if you are into investments and all that type of stuff, man, Huntsville is a place to look at, for lack of better words. It's already always voted like one of the top growing cities in the country.
Yeah.
Administration's putting money into it because of Space Command coming here. Military bases. You got, if you Google it, man, it's considered like a Silicon Valley of the South. So yeah, Huntsville is a hidden gem that is not as hidden as it used to be, but a lot of people still sleeping on it, man. But it's a lot of opportunity things going on here. Hence why I'm here making moves as much as I can. So I'm just doing my part to try to put the word out there, man.
That's good stuff, man. I've heard some things about Huntsville. I've heard a lot of good things about Huntsville. I've heard it's growing. I've heard,
Yeah,
it's been slept on for
right,
a while.
right.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely check that out, man. But,
Yeah,
so you're doing what is your primary business there? What are you doing?
yeah. So primary, man. Hospitality is what we're doing full time entrepreneurship, and that's an umbrella that encompasses a lot of stuff, man. So the main thing up under the hospitality is we do short term rentals. So I don't know
Okay.
if you're familiar with like Airbnb and VRBO and all that type of stuff, and
Mhm.
so that's our main thing. So we've been doing that going on 9 years now. It is this year makes 9 years. It's hospitality,
Oh, wow.
hospitality with the short-term rentals. But at the same time, we've had ventured off, or should I say, vested off into long-term real estate as well. So some multifamily properties, commercial properties under our belt, and then that recently, in the past 2 years, I've been doing government contracting. So
Okay.
my field, when I was working for I used to work for the federal government, worked for the federal government for a little over 12 years. And that's what I was doing for the federal government, Department of Defense. I was a contracting specialist. So doing procurements and stuff, acquisitions from that side of the house. So just kind of
Okay.
sitting down and understanding how that the whole thing working. I'm like, wait a minute, man, I can do this. I can do this.
Myself,
I
yeah.
could do this for myself, man. So, once I finally transitioned working for myself full time, I took a kind of stab at the process and procedures that I learned and went out there, man, and bid on a couple contracts and was blessed enough to win. So I'm like, okay, well, now the concept has been proven. Uh, I'm gonna keep tackling this thing because a lot of people don't understand that the federal government is the biggest purchaser of acquisitions of supplies and services in the world. And I'm like, there is no way that we can't, as a community, as a culture, as a people, shouldn't be getting a part of piece of this money. So that's been kind of like my whole push lately. It's not only for people to, have. I'm not saying everybody needs to do entrepreneurship, but I mean, spread your money out. Think of other ventures to be able to cash flow, et cetera, et cetera. And why not in government contracting? Because the government buys anything from pencils to water bottles, all the way to major weapons. And I've seen it firsthand on both sides of the coin. So that's that's me in the summary, man.
Gotcha. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Here, I've been so my entrepreneurship journey has been kind of ebbs and flows. So
Mm,
I've been working in sales,
okay.
like technical sales for like the past 15 plus almost 20 years.
Wow.
Um, so doing that off and on, mostly on. The times I was off was when I was just doing full-time entrepreneurship. So I did
Okay.
full-time entrepreneurship for a couple of years.
And
And then
I mean specifically for sales though.
no, not even related to sales. So I've been speaking. So I've written two books. So I'm an author and a
Nice.
speaker. So I wrote a couple of books and I've been traveling, speaking at different places, mainly like colleges and
That's what
universities.
I've been seeing. Yep.
Yes, some conferences and things of that sort, but really talking to youth. Like youth has been, I go to some adult conferences, but youth has been the bread and butter. That's
Right.
where I feel like I'm the most effective. And just really, I remember wishing after I got to this place or this age, wishing, I was like, I wish I'd have known that earlier. I wish I'd have known that when I was a kid. I wish I'd have known it. Wish I knew how to do
Exactly.
this. And so it's like I'm I'm trying to pay it forward and prepare these kids like, hey, if I was in your shoes and had this information, my life would be so much further along. I
Right.
could do this, even though I'm doing well, but still, that's been the bulk
What
of it.
age? Which age group is mainly your main focus when you say the youth? Is it early teens at or even younger?
Between like high school and college.
High school. Okay.
So high
Prime time.
school,
Okay.
I've spoken at middle schools and stuff too, but usually high schools to college is like
Okay.
the sweet spot. College is where I get usually paid to do it.
Do
And
they
so
normally receive it a lot? Do you get a lot of good
they
return?
do.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say the high school, I mean, of course, the younger they are, the usually more receptive they are.
Right. Right.
You get, uh, I would say college students, they receive it.
Okay.
Um, I don't know how much they put it to use. Like I'm working on some programs to where I won't just come and speak and leave, where I'll follow up.
Right.
But it's still that age where you really have to learn how to break into that. I didn't know how to really break into college students at first when I started. I
Yeah.
thought I did, but college students, some are at the age where they think they know everything and they don't think anybody can tell them anything.
Right.
They figure
Yep.
life out. Like, look,
Yep.
I'm 19 years old, I'm grown, and just and that I remember I remember this one particular talk, and this I think where things shifted for me.
Right.
Talking to these, these youth at a college, and I was asking them questions. And I was like, listen, as you grow up and as you grow up, and this one girl was like, you keep saying as we grow up, but I mean, I'm grown. And I was like, oh, okay, you're grown. How old are you? And
Mhm.
she's like, I'm 20. I said, oh, okay, good, good. Yeah, you're definitely legal. And I was
Yeah.
like, so then I just start asking questions. Well, have you done this? And do
Right.
you have this in order? And have you done this? And and by the end of the conversation, they were like, wow, we got a lot to learn. And I was like, listen, I was like, I'm not trying to call you out or put you down at all. I'm just trying to teach you things that I wish I knew at your age. Like I wish
Exactly.
somebody told me this at that age.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Man, that's dope, man. Because that's one of the things that I want to do, man. Is feed back into the youth. I know I've done like coaching like basketball and things like youth sports type thing, but as far as
right.
just from an educational piece from the financial side, man, and just using me as a transparent vessel, man, when it comes to the youth, I'm like, growing up, we was taught, school, 4-year degree, if that's the way you go. We didn't really preach military, black man, not military, et cetera, et cetera. That's a route. But entrepreneurship was not nowhere in the cards as an option. And I would remember having conversation with people. It's like only type of entrepreneurship that I personally saw growing up, especially in Greensboro, East Market and stuff. I mean, you had a couple people at the church that was, they was like janitorial type work, or you might have had somebody that, did something, with blue collar type stuff, which is nothing wrong with that from the entrepreneur
Mhm.
side, but it still was never instilled in us or even optional. So I'm like, my whole MO now is like, let me just show kids and people in general, like, entrepreneurship is a vessel too that can make you money and also give you the freedom and the lifestyle that you think you want. I know we're in this age where, social media has kind of made things seem like, you put a couple of posts up or a couple of TikTok videos or something, and you're gonna go viral and you just make millions of dollars. And I'm like,
That ain't how it works.
nah, it don't work like that, man. So and for some, they do take off, but I'm telling you, that window is very short and is very, very short lived. But my whole thing is like I'm trying to promote people that look like me and you that are out here that's been 9 to 5 and doing 9 to 5 and doing both sides, that it is attainable and people like us are reachable. I know a lot of people with your mentors and your gurus out here, good luck trying to get any of their time, and good luck if you can get their time, you better have a deep checkbook to come with it. So I'm
Oh yeah.
like, okay, I'm trying to bridge the gap, across wherever, all across the boards with my connections. And like, look, man, there is people out here that are willing to mentor, coach, teach, from that level that can show you the ropes. And that's, I think that's just what the season I'm in right now. So that was
Yeah.
really, kind of my whole point of reaching out too, man, because I know a lot of people, talk about, wanting to do public speaking and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, man, I know somebody in North Carolina. I thought you were still in North Carolina, but I'm like, I know somebody in North Carolina, man, that does this on a regular basis, man. So I'm like, I'm definitely gonna try to connect with him to see just his whole journey and all that, because it's a lot of that out here, man. And I'm like, if you're gonna go that route, I mean, at least have somebody you can talk to, or at least follow, for lack of better words, to see how their journey is, man. So that was the whole point of it, Rashad.
Yeah, that's the key, man. Especially in our community, we don't like you
Mm-hmm.
said, we don't see a lot of people
Nope.
doing doing certain things, and the key is learning to better every generation. Like that's how it
Right.
goes. That's the key. People that are billionaires now, 95% of them were born millionaires.
Exactly.
And so it's just preparing the next generation. And entrepreneurship, I've been heavily focused on entrepreneurship for a
Mm-hmm.
while. So I went to when I left high school, I went to T.
Okay.
I went to
Yep.
M&T, got my degree. When the last, how many years have I been doing it now? About maybe 5 years.
Mhm.
I started a program called Aggies Excel.
Okay.
You know, just the letters Excel, but using the term Excel. Just and I highlight Aggie entrepreneurs. So every homecoming, I have an event where it's been like a panel sometimes it's been a discussion, sometimes it's been a little workshop, but I highlight Aggie entrepreneurs, people that have graduated and are now entrepreneurs. And it's for our generation all the way down to
Mhm.
current students that are interested in entrepreneurship. And it's just sharing some of them gems and sharing some of that information, because the information shared, just like what we're doing now, man, this is the key to it
It
all. Like,
is, man.
you don't know what you don't know. And just,
Exactly.
I tell people, like, I love to use analogies. And I'm like,
Mhm.
a job is like riding a bike with training wheels. It's gonna keep you stable, it's gonna keep you upright, but you can only go so fast. You can only do
Mm.
so much.
Wow.
Entrepreneurship, you got to take off the training wheels. Now, can you fall and get hurt? Yeah, absolutely. But you can do so much. I'm like, you've never seen a BMX competitor with training wheels on. Like, you've never
Wow.
seen, that's kind of how it is. And so it's a little scary, but we just have to learn. And like you said, when I started off speaking, I was just looking for the people that were doing it and doing it
Right.
big, trying to find out, okay, what do I need to do? How do I do this? And you're right, I didn't spend thousands and thousands of dollars in people's programs, and even the information they give me, I'm like,
Yeah, right.
come
And,
on now,
all
like,
right, and see that's what my mentor is teaching me too, man. He's like, Kurt, you got a wealth of information and knowledge to share with the people. But he said, well, one of your problems, and he was like, I don't think call it a problem, but for lack of better words, one of the problems you have is you're not putting yourself out there enough. You're not letting the people know that you exist. So they don't know that they need you or they want to speak with you because there's nothing out there on you. They don't know you exist except you're in a circle. So he was like, one of the things I'm challenging you in 2026 is get out of your comfort zone and just be transparent with the people and show them that this is me. This is achievable, for lack of better words. Like you say, take the training wheels off, man. I mean, he was like, for you to be doing entrepreneurship for this long and being as successful as you are to come from you, he was like, man, that's not the norm. He was like, I appreciate you being humble with it, but at the same time, you got to let the people know that this is something that they can do as well. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm like. Let me just try to expose
come on.
myself as much as I can because I never forget, man. I was talking to the same person again, man, and he said when East Market sold, I don't know if they sold the A&T or somebody in the area and how much they
Yeah,
sold it for
it's on the
and what
A&T.
A&T is doing with it right now. I'm like, just almost hurt my heart, man, because I'm like, man, whoever was there, whoever was part of that transaction, man, all y'all should be millionaires or at least. It just kind of hurt my heart, man, because it was just they didn't know, they didn't have the information, and like you said, it's no fault to them to a certain degree, but they just didn't know. And I'm just like, man, as many people we had coming in and out of that church school, whatever the case may be, for y'all to sell it for what y'all sold it for and not see the opportunity in that land where it was, man. I'm just like, so yeah. So like you said,
Listen,
Rashad, you hit the nail on the head, man.
bruh, they had, from when I found out that it was, they were about to sell, and then I don't even remember what it was, but I remember when somebody said the figure that they sold it for, I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, pennies on a dollar from
Listen,
what I was told.
pennies on the dollar. Listen, A&T was so excited to get that property for what it was. It
Right.
it was it's just, and it's the lack of knowledge and
That's
like not
it.
understanding
That's
what
it.
you're sitting on, what your value is.
Right. There you go. There you go. And
I mean,
and that's
A&T is it's not A&T is the biggest HBCU in the country now.
wow. And I didn't even
Like,
know that, but I believe
enrollment
it.
wise,
Wow.
A&T is growing by leaps and bounds. Right now, they're about 15,000 students, a little more than 15,000 students. It's the biggest HBCU in the country. Let me tell
Wow.
you how much it's picked up steam in the last 10 years. I couldn't get into A&T right now. Right now, the average GPA to get into A&T, to guarantee to be getting into A&T, you have to have a 3.8 or better. They're putting people. One of my boys,
This
he
is
had
undergraduate?
undergrad.
Wow.
One of my boys, his kids, he has twins. His kids coming out of college, I mean high school, well-rounded, great. Both of them, one 3.5, the other 3.6. They were put on a waiting list. And when he knows people there, and he called them and he was like, dude, listen, if your kid don't have a 3.8 or above, if we can't
Jeez.
do nothing for you, because there's so many kids. They think about this. They enrolled, I think last year they enrolled 4,000 freshmen. Kurt, it was over 40,000 applicants though
Jeez. For freshmen.
for freshmen.
What in the I no idea.
it's going crazy. Like A&T is, I've known it's always been a good school, but and this is
What's the I mean, obviously A&T is a top prestige school, but what's the draw to A&T?
GHO.
Okay.
The homecoming over the last 10 years has gotten ridiculous. And I go
Wow.
back, I didn't go back every year, but I went back, maybe every other year to check out
Right.
homecoming. Kurt, the last 10 years, if you were to go to an anti homecoming now, you would stand there with your mouth open. Like
Really?
when I say you walking shoulder to shoulder through most of the campus, as big as that campus is, and now it's on a regular basis. Like, and I go, so on a regular basis, there's celebrities there all the time, just celebrities walking around campus. Like it's become that now. It's
Wow.
Auntie's homecoming is bigger than Howard's
I was
homecoming now.
just getting ready to ask, man, with you being in DC, we know Howard it was the Mecca homecoming
Howard was the
for
Mecca.
a long stretch, if not still going. But wow, so you say
Auntie's
A&T
homecoming
has
is bigger than Howard's.
that's saying a
Like,
lot.
and it's in the age of social media. That's what really blew up A&T. The age of social media with these young people and these videos of homecoming and stuff. And
Hmm.
people like,
Hmm.
the academics are still up to par. The engineering school is still top notch. The A&T still produces more engineers, more black engineers than any other school, not just HBCU, any other school in the country, consistently
Really?
every year. Like you have all the top tech companies coming to A&T's. A&T has the biggest job fair in North Carolina.
Man, you dropping
And
some
there's
information.
the biggest job fair in North Carolina. We're talking about there's still North Carolina State, there's still Chapel Hill, there's
I was
still
about to say,
Duke.
Duke. Yeah.
It has the biggest job fair in North Carolina. And it's pushed by the engineering school because the engineering school has become so big. So when you have and these viral videos, like I'm not even being online, like I have to force myself to
Hmm.
because I don't like being online. It's a necessity for me being a speaker, but I don't really necessarily like it. But to your point, that's a long way of saying this social media age has blown A&T up because you have
Wow.
videos now everywhere where people are like, "Are you serious?" Even and there was this one video 3 years ago that just became crazy viral where this Howard alumni, young Howard alumni, was like, "Y'all, I've been hearing about GHO and I've been hearing about A&T." She said, "I'm a proud Howard alumni, but Howard's homecoming doesn't compare to GHO, y'all." And so
Oh,
this went viral when she said it because this was a Howard alumni
yeah, because she got credibility.
credibility, and she was a well-known Howard alumni. And so it's just the last 10 years, it's been crazy.
Man, you gonna make me push my clock up just to go back, man, because I know, when people ask me, they'll ask like where you originally from, and whatever the case may be, and I'll be like, you're from Greensboro. They're like, oh, you're from A&T country, and I'm like, yeah, because I haven't been exposed to. I'm like, yeah, A&T when I was there, it was an HBCU. I mean, obviously I was a kid, but at the same time, to hear you say that how big and how blown up it is, man, I'm still tripping on the fact that you said 40,000 applicants.
40,000 applicants.
A
And they could only
freshman.
accept for freshmen, they only had room to accept 4,000. But they're
Jeez,
building like
man.
crazy. If you look at the campus, if you came to see the campus now, you wouldn't recognize it.
Yeah,
It's
I got to get back.
some of the staples are still there, but it's so many new buildings. There's so many new dorms. It's crazy. Like
I mean, so how has the city? I wonder how is the city prepared for the influx and the fast growth of that expansion, for lack of better words, man. Because, like I said, I'm always got my entrepreneur hat on, man. So I'm hopefully it's a two-way street for the city of Greensboro and for A&T. But I mean, just from people that are coming in there, man, for lack of better words, what do you consider like outside of A&T? Do most people stay there and work, or they take their talents elsewhere, for lack of better words?
that most people take their talents elsewhere. Now Greensboro has grown a little bit too.
Okay.
Greensboro has changed a little bit, but I mean it's still Greensboro. But if you go to the downtown area, some of the parts of downtown are a little unrecognizable. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But it's A&T. Here's what's been happening with Greensboro. Because A&T has blown up so much for years, UNCG has tried to basically acquire A&T or make it the UNCG
Right.
East or
Right.
whatever, and of course, alumni won't allow that to happen. So that
Right.
failed because they saw years ago what A&T was becoming and what it's growing into. But it's just the entrepreneurship part of it. People, a lot of people are capitalizing off of it. But it's still I think it's still untapped, like for
Hmm.
our community. It's
Right.
still untapped because as much and the city, as much as money that it's the single biggest, of course, event. It brings the most money of any event every year to the city, but it's still Greensboro, and the city still doesn't embrace it and get
What it
behind.
has. Phew. Man, that's yeah, you got my wheels turning now, man. I'm gonna have to get out. Have you had the opportunity to present or speak for A&T yet?
Let me tell you what's crazy. Yeah, only the event that I personally put on,
Hmm.
but I haven't. Like I've spoken at other colleges in North Carolina, but I just haven't because A&T has gotten so it's gotten so big that a lot of it's become at one point I thought it was becoming very like commercial.
Mm.
Now
Do
it's
they get a
held as
lot of federal
authenticity.
funding, do you think? Or most of their stuff is private,
They don't.
tuition based?
Most of the funding, there's a lot of federal funding promised. Like the HBCUs in North Carolina actually were talking about suing the state because there's a gross imbalance in the amount of funds that are given to white institutions versus the HBCUs. And
Hmm.
especially A&T was leading the charge, especially with the success of A&T and T and everything that is done. The state, even the money that's promised, they still owe A&T money.
Wow, dude.
So you
Wow,
still
man.
have that element of it.
How is their like their staff or like the president and all that? Do they have? And I'm asking you like you still part, like you go there or
No,
whatnot, man. Because you got my look, man. I didn't know where this conversation was going, but now you got me intrigued, man. Like their staff and their president and all that type of stuff. I mean, where do they see the growth going even from there, man? Because I'm like, why are you hot? How do you guys capitalize on that? I mean, because we know, being at the top is just a matter of time for somebody takes their reign, maybe, maybe not. But at the same time, what do you see the vision going with it all?
I I think it is I don't I think they're definitely planning something. For example, A&T for years was in the MEAC conference, the MEAC, where they were
Mm-hmm.
same conference with Central and South Carolina State, and A&T left maybe about 4 or 5 years ago and is now in the same conference with, let me see, who is it's Campbell and Monmouth, a bunch of white schools. There's only 2 HBCUs in the conference they're in now. That's A&T and Hampton.
Hmm.
And so they thought that move was going to bring more money and bring
Right.
more opportunity because now we're playing against better competition and
Right. Exactly.
everything.
The
But it
exposure. Yep.
hasn't really been that way for most of the sports. For football, which was the main thing people were concerned with, football team has been horrible the
Right.
last several years. Like it's been terrible. Now the track team has been amazing. The track team has won national meets. Like I mean, competing against the likes of Tennessee and
Right.
Michigan and Florida. And the track team has been amazing. So amazing that I think 2 or 3 years ago, A&T's track coach was stolen by the University of Tennessee.
Hmm.
University of Tennessee hired him for their men's track coach. So
That's
he's
normally
there.
how. I mean, I've seen that a few times.
Yeah,
That's normally how it goes.
yeah,
But
that's
look, I
normally how
mean,
it goes. But it's I seen the progression and I've seen the growth. Just looking at the campus, you can see the growth. You see all the new dorms, all the new buildings, all the new structures. You see the growth. And they brought in this new chancellor they just hired like maybe 2 years ago, a year or two ago. He's not an HBCU grad, but he comes he's I mean his resume is great, but I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do for
hmm.
A&T and how he's going to help A&T move and blossom. But it's been crazy to watch in person. Like I remember,
Wow.
for example, and this isn't the barometer solely, but to give you an example, I remember going to homecoming maybe 15 years ago and how it is now. It's easily homecoming is easily 4 times the amount of people. UC.
Jeez. And so when is their homecoming? It's what, October time frame or
Yeah, it's in October. I
okay.
think this year they released it. It was either I think it's around Halloween or like the second week in October. They released it, but it's
Okay.
in
And
October.
you go pretty much every year. If
The last 4 or 5 years I've gone like every year, but that's only because I started, the
the
event,
program. Yeah.
the program that I have. Before that, I
Man,
would go maybe once every 3 years, but
man, that is fire, dude. Like I say, man, I had that was not where I wanted to go with the conversation. But look, I appreciate you bringing that up, man, because once again, it's just bringing back to memories, man, and being in North Carolina, in Greensboro specifically, going to the church school and just seeing that area, man. And I would have never known that little A&T, quote unquote, little A&T has grown to be the one of the biggest, if not the biggest HBCUs in the country. And
yeah.
you have to have a 3.8 GPA just to even put your name in the hat, man. That speaks volume. But the fact that they know that, and you still got 40,000 applicants that I would assume has that 3.8 GPA to higher speaks volumes of the people coming out of high school. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's the volume. It's strictly the volume. That was the only way they could kinda, get the
narrow it
best of the
down.
best. Yeah, narrow it down. And now my friend, his kids, they didn't get accepted for the fall semester, but what they both I told you 3.5 and 3.6, they did get a provisional acceptance to start in the spring semester. So they
Okay,
couldn't come right out of high school to start in the fall, but they could start in the spring because they know and A&T knows, just like any college, there's going to be attrition that first year. After the first semester, everybody ain't gonna make it. After the
right.
first year, everybody ain't gonna stay. But it's grown. Like it went to being it's the biggest HBCU in the country, student wise. It's the biggest.
Wow, that's crazy. So, well, let me ask you this then: what would you think, from your personal opinion and from your expertise, somebody that's been on both sides of the street? Let's say, since you're coaching youth and you're mentoring youth, let's say you get a 10th grade, 11th grader, somewhere around that age, and they come to you and say, based off what you're sharing, et cetera, would you advise them to go to college route, or would you advise them to, kind of use the bicycle analogy of, you know, college is going to prep you, to get a career, which is, once again, there's nothing wrong with career jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, being on both sides, what kind of advice would you give a 15, 16-year-old that's, you know, coming out of high school?
Well, I'll tell you real life example. So I have my daughter is 17.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'll tell you exactly what I told my daughter. I said, "Hey, baby girl, I want you to be successful. I want you
Mm-hmm.
to find something that you want to do, and I want you to be successful. Of course, daddy, I went to college, graduated. But if college isn't front for you, if you come to me and say, "Hey, daddy, I got a business idea. I want to go maybe get a certificate or a trade program or start a business or do this," as long as you have a plan, I'll back it. I was like, I'm not, you don't have to go to college to be successful. If that's the route you
Right.
want to take, you can. And that's what I tell
Right.
all you.
Right.
It's an option. It's a good
Right.
option, but it's an option. It's not the only option. College ain't for
Mm-hmm.
everybody. I understand that. I was like, because the truth of the matter is, I believe if you spend 4 years on the job learning a trade, maybe get a certificate or two, you might be more well prepared than somebody coming out of college.
And I would go as
Just with
far as to
knowledge.
say, most likely you will be, because, as my mentor teaches me or shows us in our group, he's like, what you're learning in college, unless it's something specific, doctor or something like that. But if it's general, the information that 4 year that you're learning it, by the time you get out, it's going to be obsolete anyway. I mean, it's going to be old information. I mean, I'm just now learning about AI, Chat GPT, and those type of things. And people are like, Chat GPT, man, that's old form of AI knowledge. You're using ChatGPT like Google, man. That ain't that you're using it like a search engine, man. You need to get on some of these other. I'm like, haven't even heard of it. And I'm like, you're talking in the last 9 months. So I'm like,
Nine
I would
months.
go as far to say, like, depending on what your degree and what you're studying, whatever you're learning coming at, you're going to be behind the curve, behind anybody that's already hit the ground running, and I know that can be subjective, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
you're absolutely correct. In my opinion, it depends. It depends on exactly what type of career you want to go into or what you want to do. But I personally think the on the job training,
Right.
I think it'll benefit you more than most 4 year college degrees
Yeah.
because even now, even in the workforce, a college degree, and I used to manage people. I used to hire people, and I would be real with these young cats. I'm like, listen, you need to come in and you need to learn. You need
Mm-hmm.
to handle people. You need to figure out. You need to learn. I was like, let me tell you what a college degree is. Let me tell you why most most companies hire people with a college degree, not because they feel like you're gonna come in with the knowledge to excel. They hire you with a college degree because a college degree basically says you can commit to something for 4 years and finish.
And you're
That's
yep,
it.
and you're
That's
teachable, coachable, teachable. Yep.
yeah. You're coachable and you're teachable. That's what a college degree
Right.
says.
Man, yeah, that's huge, man. Cause that's what I get a lot of people all the time, and I tell them, I'm like, entrepreneurship, I know I make it seem like it's social media, not me. On social media make it seem like once again that it's just flowers and dillies all day, every day. You make your own schedule. You're traveling. You're doing this. You got all this stuff going on, and then money just rolling in. I'm like, no, entrepreneurship is hard. I mean, the inconsistency of whether you got clients or the consistent cash flow. Some days I do wake up and be like, man, I'd rather just go punch that clock because at least I know every 2 weeks. I know how much I got coming in. I can budget better, man. Because
Right.
sometimes the entrepreneur journey is it's you're not only dealing with, at least on the job, you got one or two clients or somebody dealing with when you're entrepreneurship, man. It's multiple clients and multiple deadlines and multiple needs to need to be met 24/7. I mean, there is no, okay, I got Saturday and Sunday off, or I got this. It's like in the early stages, man, it's either you or not. And it's like, what are you going to do to make it go? I tell people, the statistics say, like, in those first 5 to 7 years, man, 90, not even 90, a high percentage of small businesses fail. So how do you make yourself apart? So it's tough out here, man. And like I said, I get people asking me that all the time. It's like, well, can you talk to my kid or can you talk to, somebody about entrepreneurship if we want them to go that route? And I'm like, even though I say I'm all for entrepreneurship, I'm not one to be like, man, the old college route, the traditional way, school is not attainable, but at the same time, like you said, man, I just want you to know you got options, and I want
Yeah.
to expose, the options that are available to you. So I think that's dope, man. What you told your daughter. What did she come back with when you told her that?
So my daughter, and she decided she wanted to go to college. So
Okay.
we're preparing now to get her into college. And so we have it narrowed down. I think I know where she's going. She thinks she knows where she's going to.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for March. Actually, this month is when we're expecting some acceptance letters to start,
Coming in. So
rolling
say
in.
17, she's a junior or a senior?
She's a senior. She's
Okay.
about to
So she
turn
get ready.
18 next month. Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
she's
she about to come on out.
oh yeah, yeah. She's a senior.
Man,
She's graduating in May. So she's out. But
man.
it's crazy me mentioning that. I'm like, man, I got an 18-year-old kid. This
But
is
look, my
crazy.
my daughter be 16 years old. She's a character for sure, man. So she's coming. She ain't too far behind from yours. So I'm pretty sure you can give me some advice offline. When we're dealing with these daughters, man. But it's like I tell people all the time, there is no one exact way to parent, man. But only thing I can say is be involved as much as you can, communicate as much as you can, and roll with it each day, man, because whew, man,
It's
it's challenging on top of trying to do everything else in the day-to-day life, man. So, jeez, man. What were some other things, man, you want to share and talk about, man? I know, like I say, man, because of me, I ran over time. But like I say, Rashad,
cool.
my whole intent with this is like I have no strategy, I have no plan. I know a lot of people like do podcasts, Kurt. I'm like, I don't really want to do it. I said, what I'm gonna do starting out, man, I'm just gonna ask people that are willing to just hop on camera and just have a conversation. And I said, wherever it goes from there, I said between the content creator that I got, she was like, let's do it. She gonna chop it up and do whatever, make reels out of it and nuggets
Hey,
out of it. And I'm like, man, whatever happens out of that. But for me, following instructions, I'm just like. I just want to talk to respectable people that I respect in the circles that I have, man, and just see where it go, man. So, what else
man,
you want to talk about it is cool with
listen,
me, man. I can go all day, man, because I like just listening to people like you, man, and your whole concepts and way of thinking, man. Because some of the nuggets you've already dropped, I'm just like, I never thought about that. But I'm telling you now, I'm gonna steal that bicycle analogy.
hey, take it, man, take it. We're gonna, and we can talk about this offline later. But I've been really thinking. You mentioned this, and I've been really thinking about jumping into the real estate area. with even with maybe Airbnbs or just
Yeah.
rent out properties. Because I own a house now, it's the house I stay in, but I've been
Uh-huh.
thinking, okay, I think I want to buy another property soon, to just to start to generate income
Yeah.
because
And I say don't think about it, man. Do it because I mean, and of course I'm gonna be biased to it, man. Real estate is it's the only state that's real. Once again, as my mentor tells me. So he was like, man, there's nothing like having the bricks and part of your portfolio as an asset, man. I mean, of course, crypto and stocks and traditional, all that type of stuff is great, man. But it's nothing like having that traditional hard asset, man. That's going to appreciate. If done right, it's going to appreciate. If done right, it's going to cash flow. And obviously, if you got one of those two, most importantly, the tax deductions that come with it. I tell people all the time, in this society, in this great country of America, this capitalistic society, man, cash flow and all that is very important, man. But this is a tax strategy country, man. If you don't have the proper tax strategies in place, where however you, whether it's W-2, 1099, or however you doing generating money, man, taxes will eat you up. And we're not even talking about from inflation and all the other stuff that taxes do, man. When you're talking about 6 or 7 different type of taxes, from income tax to state tax to all type of taxes, man. If you don't understand how to play that game, man, it will tear you up and bankrupt yourself when you don't even realize it. So I tell people one of the best ways to protect yourself from a legal standpoint is having investment income to protect yourself from the taxes and have tax strategies, man. So I'll be more than happy to talk to you offline about that, man, of strategies and things you can do to get that property, man, with using your own personal asset to acquire that second property, man. So yeah, that's my whole push too, man, is teaching people to get some type form of investment property, whether it's single family or commercial. Now, of course, I'm a pump commercial property, but even if it has to be a single family income producing cash flow or whatever case may, go forth and do it, bro.
man, one of my mentors is crazy. He's told me the same thing. I remember
Yeah,
years ago, he said, listen, there's a whole lot of things being created in this world, but they ain't creating no more land.
they ain't creating no
Like
more land.
what's here is here. And real
It's here.
estate, he told me one of his big real estate downfalls. He said, listen, you need to get into it. He lived in New York for years.
Mm-hmm.
And this was over 20 years ago. He said that one of his friends came to him like, listen, when this was back when I think Clinton was in office, it was some spots in Harlem, and his friend was like, yo, we need to invest in this. And he was looking like, wait, these spots were like, I think maybe about two, $300,000. And it was literally buildings that were empty, like brownstones.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them had trees growing through them. And he was like, no, I'm telling you, this area. And he was like, I just couldn't see it. And I was just like, nah. He said, I kick myself to this day. He said,
I
because
know.
his friend check this out. His friend bought a couple of properties. But when Clinton got out of office, that's the neighborhood right down the street that Clinton built his library in.
Oh my goodness.
And so the property, everything skyrocketed out there. And he's like, his boy bought a couple of properties. He said, Rashad, he cashed out one of his properties at like 5x what it was worth when he bought it.
Man, I'm telling you, it's nothing like it, man. It's nothing like it can be a fast flip game. You can flip property and make a bag, a quick bag, but I'm like, it's a longevity game, man. If it's like if you're planning on being here anyway, you know, what else you got but time? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, let the property preach it. And even if you pass before your, retirement age or whatever the case may be, man, that's something that you're gonna pass on to your kids. So I tell people all the time, just imagine if your parents on your graduation day from high school, and they said, instead of this, that, and that, we're gonna bless you with this paid off house that's worth a couple of 100,000. Just think how far ahead we would be if they just blessed you with a house at graduation.
This, Kurt, I have a real life example of that. A friend I went to high school with, her grandmother passed and left her house in Greensboro. Her and her husband still stayed it to this day.
Right.
So when she had the house when she was like a sophomore at junior at T, that's when her grandmother passed and left it to her. So when she
Mm-hmm.
graduated from A&T, she ended up getting a job, staying in Greensboro. Her and her husband, they got married. Sh They had no rent. That's the biggest expense you had.
The
So
biggest.
straight out of college,
right.
the biggest bill was her car payment.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? See, so and if you got the like you say, if you had the mindset, even if you don't have the mindset to understand, I don't have to half of my 2 checks that I get per month. Sometimes you get 3 checks per month, and 1/3 of that doesn't have to go to rent. I can invest that whether in myself or in something else. How far ahead you would be, and it don't take long. I mean, and I don't know, traditional mutual funds and all that type of stuff, but I'm like, just imagine if you can take a year's worth, 2 years max of the money that you was paying would have been paying for rent and just put that in a slow money market account at compound interest, which you would be in just 2 years. I say,
Okay.
and I have some financial advisors that show me numbers on that. I'm like, what you paying in rent if you could just start out doing that? So by the time you say a kid 17, like your daughter or something, by the time she turns 25 and she's doing that consistently, she'll be a millionaire at 25 on money that she's not even thinking about.
Yeah, and that's why I do it for my kids. So I have 2
Right.
kids, and that's why I do, and I've told my daughter, my son is much younger, but I told my daughter, I said, "Baby girl, what I'm doing, hear
Mm-hmm.
me. First of all, the information I'm giving you, what I'm telling you to do, it's not for me. I'm
Right.
good. I'm
Right.
grown, got a career, own a house. Like, I'm doing this for you. Like, if
Yep.
you just listen to me
Right.
and follow, I was like, I know you're not gonna do everything I say
Of
because you're
course.
my daughter, and I know you're just as hard-headed as I am. So, but if you just follow some of the stuff I tell you to do,
Right.
I'm like, think about this. I said, just big picture. You're gonna own a home one day. And she was
Mhm.
like, "Well, yeah, I definitely wanna buy a home." I was like, "No, no, 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 I have a house. You're
They
gonna own a home one day.
right.
Like, this is
Right.
yours." Like,
Right.
I was like, "Baby, I'm in my 40s. Like, this is gonna be yours one day."
Yep.
So, listen to what I'm saying and do what you need to do, because when we think about it, being a parent, I'm sure you know, most of the things I do is for my
That's
kids.
it.
Like, I'm
That's it.
'Cause we're thinking, and I'm hearing you talk, I'm like, yeah, this man is thinking long term. So it's not like, okay, what can I get tomorrow? What can I buy tomorrow?
No.
No, no, no. We playing the long game. Like, this is the long game. We're looking at establishing, not just putting ourselves in a good position, but establishing generational wealth.
That's the
Like,
true
my
generational wealth.
goal, this may be kind of selfish, but my goal is I want my great or great grandkids to say, listen, I got the life I did because of my great grandfather.
That
He
I
did
never
this
met.
back in, yeah, that I never met. He did this back in the early 2000s. He laid the groundwork. He did this. He taught my mom or my grandma or my father. Like, that's my goal.
And that's what I tell people. Rashad, you hitting the nail on the head, bro. I tell people, I say, when y'all think about some of the people that the martyrs that people always go to, your Rockefellers and all those type of people, the people, their descendants, hundreds of years later, are still living off of what they established in the seeds that they planted hundreds of years ago. And we know this. I'm like, why don't we take that same MO? The blueprints are there. The blueprints
Yes,
are
there.
there. It's the same concept. It's the same concept. So I'm like, okay, let me show my cards. Let me show my cards. Like, look, I ain't no secret sauce. Ain't no, and look, this is the play, man. And like I say, I may not be here to experience all the fruits of this in my lifetime, but I'm like, you best believe my kids and grandkids that I don't know nothing about are going to eat off of this. And that's how it should be. That's the
How
true
it should be.
generational wealth, man. But I'm like, okay, it starts with me, and I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it,
You,
man.
You know something I say a lot when speaking, but you're saying the same thing. Sometimes I just put words to thoughts that we've already had. To be great, you have to accept that my greatness is not even going to be appreciated in my lifetime.
Mm,
People are not even going to understand. I'm not even going to know how great people think I am, because my true greatness, if I do it correctly, it's not going to even be able to be seen until I'm gone.
till you gone.
And so you have to have that slightly unselfish mindset where you
Yeah,
understand, this ain't about right now. This is about the legacy I want to leave. Everybody talks
exactly.
about legacy and talks about being great, but I'm like, if you truly want to be great, you have to be unselfish enough to know you're not going to see all of the fruits of your labor. You're not going to
Right.
experience it.
As you
You're going
should.
to plant, but you're not going to reap all of the harvest.
And as you shouldn't. I mean, I think that's even a more simple. I mean, like they say, man, you can't take it with you, you know. And if it is a way you can take it with you, I've never heard anybody coming back telling me that I was able to take it with me. Now I'm coming back for the second life form.
No.
But I'm just like, man, if you're not doing it for the generations coming up behind you, what are you doing it for? What is your motivation, man? And you get joy out of it, man. You know, it's for me, I get joy of sharing information. And people they tell me all the time, man, I'm surprised, Kurt, that you share and expose such information that you. I say, I get joy out of telling people this is a way of thinking, a different way of thinking, or real estate can free you up and generations and eons of options, man. I mean, I don't like enjoying it all by myself, and I'm not saying that I just have it all together, but I'm like, there's nothing like seeing other people benefit or put into work the information that you shared, man. And I'm like, they people are like, what's the return that you want to get from? I'm like, man, just go share it with somebody else, put your spin to it, and go share it with somebody else. Because I'm like, what else is it for, man? Information changes situations, man. And I'm like,
Yeah.
applied information, that's endless. But man, I'm gonna tell you 100 times over, especially in that area, Rashad, man. Get you a second piece of real estate, man. Yeah,
Okay.
you won't regret it. And I'm like, it's so many avenues and plays you can do with real estate. I know most people think the traditional ways of, renting it out or getting you a tenant, man. But like I say, going back to the original top of the conversation, man, we even have it now on our government contracts that we're leasing real estate to the federal government. And that's just a whole different play. I mean, that's just a whole different play that people don't think about on that and Airbnb. It's just so many plays with real estate, man.
You mentioned this, and again, we're not going to get into it, but I had a thought at one point in time because I was thinking about even getting a second property, and I'm like, I wanted to make money, and a friend of
Mm-hmm.
mine was like, "Hey, you ever looked into Section 8? Like, you thought about that?" Like, and that was just one of the many options or one of
Yeah.
the many different possibilities, and so it's really got my mind going now. Like, okay, there's multiple options
It's
to make.
multiple options, and I've never even done Section 8. I've heard multiple stories about Section 8, and every time I'm like, I'm going to get something and try Section 8, another opportunity comes out. Was like, you can go this route with it, or try this route, and it started with the Airbnbs. I'm like, with the Airbnbs, I mean, for example, what you can get in monthly rents with Airbnb, you can, depending on the city and done right, man, you can 4X that same, the 1,200, 13, 1,500 that you would get in a traditional month to month rent Airbnb if done right, man. You can bring in 3 and 4 times that amount, if not more, depending on peak season, to just cash flow. I mean, and you're still getting the same tax benefits, still getting the same appreciation, depreciation, the whole nine, man. And that's just, once again, that's just one avenue. We're not talking about dumbing it down even more. If you want to rent out rooms, you got people that's coming out of jail that's in halfway houses and need rooms and stuff. It's just so many plays that our people just have never thought about, and it's no fault to them. We just wasn't exposed to these options. And I'm like, okay, well, the buck stops now, man. At least with me and my community. So, um,
Yeah, it's like a snowball rolling downhill, man. It gets bigger and bigger, but somebody got to make the snowball.
somebody gotta make the snowball, bro. So I'm here, man. So I'm here, man. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna want you to up all your time, man. But like I said, I can go. I appreciate it. We can continue, but like I said, for just because I don't know when this thing, I have it slotted for an hour, so I don't know if it's gonna cut off or what.
Probably
So
gonna end
I want
soon.
to,
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure that I get information from you, man. Because like I say, my content person that we hire, man, she's gonna take this video. And like I said, we all just playing with it, Rashad. So we're gonna chop
yeah,
it up. I'm gonna send you the full video, but she's gonna chop it up, man. I'm gonna turn to some reels or whatever the case may be, because I'm trying to, like I said, put myself out there more and more and have conversation with people that I respect and got big things going, man. So before we hang up, before this thing closes out, man, give me some like takeaways, man, from you and where you're going with your youth and all that, man.
man. My goal is in my personal belief. I believe I was created to change the world, and I
Mm,
think I sincerely believe that. And so that's why I target youth so much because I understand that youth are really the future. I mean, it's just a natural progression of life.
right.
And I know how much you've said it so many times, like mentioning your mentor. And there's so many lessons and so many things that I was taught from mentors, family members, whatever. And all of that stuff, I think now, and just what I was telling you earlier, if I had some of this information earlier, it would have been amazing. If my parents knew this, or if my
Right.
grandparents knew this. And so I'm trying to help catch us up because we're behind. As a people, we're behind. And I'm just trying to
And
do
the
my
gap's
part.
getting further too.
Yes,
We
I'm
not
trying to
closing
stop
space,
the
man.
bleeding. I'm like, first, I'm just trying to stop the bleeding.
Right.
But my goal, man, is to really just spark something for this new generation and make I believe when we're put on this earth to make it a better place, we should
Yeah.
leave it better than what we left. And so this is my way through business, through entrepreneurship, through speaking. This is how I'm going to help make that happen.
Man, well, look, I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate you taking the time to responding for waiting. We had the delay that was on me, and I
It's
appreciate you
cool,
saying I
man.
can still hop on, man. So I really do appreciate it, man. Um, I don't really have anything else. I'm gonna stop the record, and then we can continue to talk, man, for a little bit. Because, like I said, I want to make sure I capture that. Hold on.
Gotcha.